Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel. We are here to react to the finale of the Obi-Wan Kenobi limited series. As far as we know so far, this is the last episode. There's been some rumblings here and there about a possible second season. I know Ewan McGregor came out and said that he personally would like to play Obi-Wan more, and that he thinks there's more stories to tell beyond this story about, things that he did on Tatooine, protecting Luke, all that jazz. So the possibility of getting a second season is higher than it used to be, I think. There's also been some rumors of Cameron Monaghan being given his own Disney Plus series as Cal Kestis. That's very interesting because I think it'll be the first time that we've seen a character taken from one of the games, like specifically like one of the only canon games, I guess, that's still here. Like someone you play as, and then them having their own series. I wonder how that would gel with the story of the games. That would be very interesting. But in terms of this show, I have loved it so far. I feel like certain aspects of it have been somewhat of a slow burn, and I think I wish they would have focused a little bit more on the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin, but I also feel like they're trying to make this series a little bit more than just about like their relationship, right? Like they want to shine a little bit of a light on how Anakin's turn to Darth Vader affected more than just Obi-Wan, how it affected, the younglings, how it affected other Jedi, how it affected the galaxy as a whole. And it's taking us from a point of, Obi-Wan at the end of Revenge of the Sith to where he is at A New Hope, but it's also taking the galaxy from where it is at the end of Episode 3 to A New Hope, right? Like why are all these people so willing to step up and fight? How does the rebellion exist, right? Like these are elements that we have to kind of like seed into the series and movies and stuff, and so they're adding those elements to this show as well. I personally would have preferred like an extra episode or two, maybe. Disney Plus, they just seem super set on their like 6-episode structure for shows, and it's very interesting why they keep doing that. But what happened last time on the last episode of Obi-Wan? So we got all the information of Reva's backstory. Why is she doing what she's doing? Why is she so angry? What is her plan? And it's a lot of stuff people have guessed throughout the series so far, and it shines a light on why is she so angry, and it illuminates some of her performance from previous episodes where a lot of people were mad that she was angry. Like, one, she's an Inquisitor. Like, she taps into the dark side of the Force. She's not technically a Sith, but like, that's their whole deal. Like, why would she not be angry in general? But also, Anakin literally slaughtered her friends in front of her. Of course she would be upset. At the same time, she's also trying to, put on a little bit of a show because she's undercover. Like, she's not truly in line with the mission of the Inquisitors. And she's also trying to stay composed and not like give things away. So she delivers a very layered performance throughout the series, and getting that illumination in the last episode was really, really nice. We had dope moments of Anakin and Obi-Wan flashback of them sparring, Darth Vader tearing that ship down out of the sky, and then the really cool fight between Darth Vader and Reva where he stabs her and the Grand Inquisitor comes back. She's not dead yet. I assume she's going to be going after Luke on Tatooine, and Obi-Wan is going to have to probably fight Darth Vader at some point in this episode and then fight her at the end, and it's going to be emotional, and it's going to be probably action-packed, but I am ready for it. So before we jump into it, if you end up enjoying my reaction, please leave a like on the video. If you're new here, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified when I upload, especially if you want to see me react to more Star Wars content including the Andor series or season 2 of Bad Batch. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider supporting me on Patreon. I post all those in watch-along format. Your support over there would mean the world as well. But other than that, let's jump into the series finale, as far as we know, of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Something you want to say?
I have something to say.
Wait your turn.
You're about to
Yeah, what's
die,
left
brother.
undone.
Oh yeah, she's just barely holding on.
I'm looking for a farmer. Name's Owen.
Dang, she got to Tatooine fast. How'd she get there so fast? I guess maybe she has her hyperspace drive still active.
We're not going to make it to Tessin, are we?
Motivator shot. Power couplings are bad.
How much time do you need?
More than we have.
Little Luke! Little Luke!
Howdy.
Luke and Owen doing more junk hunting.
Certain somebody broke the last one.
Your uncle's a patient man.
I am not that patient.
Owen,
Hey, dude.
there's something you need to know.
No, wait, you can't just leave me here.
I'm the one that Vader wants. If I go, he will follow.
I'm not letting you.
Leia, please.
Yeah, what are you gonna do, Leia?
You've spent 10 years protecting the Jedi. This is my chance to return that favor.
But we're so close.
Broken.
Yeah, but you don't have enough time.
You are all the future. You are the future. You're what needs to survive.
No.
Leia.
To a certain extent, though, like, to them, the idea of pretty much, as far as they know, the last great Jedi, like the image of the Jedi dying, is not something they can so easily accept. The Jedi are a symbol. They are a mythos that, you know, it's like in Halo when the Spartans die. They don't technically die. They're classified as missing in action.
I'm not putting anyone else in danger, Owen. We're enough. You and me.
Yeah, debatable.
We both knew this day might come.
You think you're gonna fight this lady? You get straight torched by a couple stormtroopers.
Please tell your father I tried.
Tell him yourself. Tell both of them.
Roken found it before we got out.
Oh, is that the holster of the
She would have
lady
wanted you to have it.
of Tala? Dang, dude.
But I wasn't going to give you a blaster, Leia. You're 10 years old.
Well, she's gonna be pretty proficient with one
But you won't always be.
in 9 years. Also, there's hints that Millie Bobby Brown is gonna be potentially signing on to a Star Wars project. It'd be very interesting if maybe her role is like a younger, not younger than this, but younger than A New Hope Leia. Kind of like showing how she gets to where she is at that stage. God, they're so precious. I freaking love them.
I have to face him, Master.
Qui-Gon, please show up.
This ends today.
Liam Neeson, say things to me in my ears, please.
We're tracking an escape craft. There's one life form aboard.
That's him.
We cannot prioritize one lone Jedi.
He is not just any Jedi.
He's the Jedi. Best of the best.
Follow Kenobi.
At once, Lord Vader.
Look at the Grand Inquisitor like, all right, man, it's your loss.
The Tuskens are on the hunt again. They're raiding farms along the waste. So stay in here. If anything goes wrong, you know what to do. You run.
I'm not afraid.
Stop perpetuating this Tusken hate. The Tuskens are good people. Yo, the Baru homestead is much larger than I thought it would be. Oh, I'm getting nervous, like just emotionally nervous. They're just easing into it. They're letting us sit in the emotion. Master Kenobi. Hello there. Say it. This feels like when he fought Maul in Rebels. Say it.
I will do what I
must. Oh, you. Oh, and he does the pose. Ah! Let's go. Classic two-finger point Obi-Wan. I will do what I must. You will try. Oh. Putting up much more of a fight this time. Ooh, Vader's got two hands on it now. He's taking this seriously. Oh, the little friggin' spins. It's so goddamn cool. Oh! What if she just leaves? Man, good thing she's hurt or she would be cooking them. I like that they're like this, where the lightsabers are destroying the environment as they fight, feels very reminiscent of like The Force Awakens and different elements in the sequel trilogy. How, you know, even though the lightsaber fights themselves, they're still more polished than the original trilogy. There's also a raw element to it.
But the weakness still remains.
Oh. What a line. Oof. Vader, you're fighting dirty, brother.
And that is why you will always lose.
Oh. You can hear Hayden's voice in a little bit of this as well. That's a lot of weight.
What do you want?
Justice.
This is not gonna help you feel better. Ugh. Isn't Owen in like a wheelchair in the original trilogy? Or either him or Bruce like hurt, I feel like. Maybe this is explaining why. Dude's like straight crippled. We need a more wholesome voice to break through here. He's only hearing those old voices. Oh, yes. Think of the future. Don't dwell on the past. Oh, yes. He is, I think, gonna be no longer drawing upon that shame, but he'll be more resolute, knowing what's at stake. Oh, behind the back. Oh, yes! A little spin. Oh, it's so good. Oh. God dang, dude. Obi-Wan. Those rocks must have hurt so bad. He was tanking those rocks. Oh, he's doing work. Oh, you can hear the ragged breathing. Obi-Wan's doing work. Oh! Is it gonna be like in Rebels? Please. Is it gonna be like in Rebels? Yo, if we see Hayden's face right now, I might cry.
Anakin.
Are they gonna mix the voices as well?
Anakin's gone. And what remains?
Obi-Wan's crying too. Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Anakin.
I am not your failure, Obi-Wan. You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did.
Oh, and the red lighting there.
I will destroy you.
Goodbye,
Oh.
Darth.
Oh, it's the first time he calls him Darth.
Obi-Wan!
Oh, he just leaves him there. He just leaves him there. Oh. God dang, dude. That hits just as hard as Revenge of the Sith and when he fights Ahsoka in Rebels.
Luke.
Oh, he's got a hyperspace drive on this? Dang, son. You could have been doing rapid trips. 4 people at a time. Hyperspace. With the dropship. Oh. She realizes she is becoming exactly what she hated. Maybe Obi-Wan gets there too late and she just couldn't finish it. She couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I failed them.
She thought that would be avenging her family, essentially.
You haven't failed them
Yeah.
by showing mercy. You have given them peace. You have honored them.
Yeah, her killing Luke would have been throwing away everything they lived and died for.
Who you become now? It is up to you.
Reva spin-off series coming. She becomes a gray Jedi. This is a nice moment. Redemption for Reva. I'm really curious to see where they take that character going forward.
He will not evade me.
The Empire is back. He's looking old.
If your past cannot be overcome,
he will find someone stronger.
I serve only you, my master.
Not quite, brother. Ooh. Great use of the Imperial March.
All right. Let's go, young lady. We don't want to keep...
She's ready to go shooting. Yeah, you're gonna let her wear it because you're just grateful that she's here and alive. It's just part of her outfit now. And Lola.
Lola!
That's who she screams for.
I think you should sleep.
Yeah, you looking old as hell, Obi-Wan. She's like, you looking janky.
Princess Leia Organa, you are wise, discerning, kind-hearted. These are qualities that came from your mother. So passionate and fearless, forthright. Gifts from your father. Both were exceptional people who bore an exceptional daughter.
She's got some dope foster parents. Oh.
Will I ever see you again?
No.
Maybe.
I don't think so.
If you ever need help from a tired old man, But we must be careful. No one must know, or it could endanger us both.
That somewhat explains the more formal nature of her message in A New Hope. God, it's so good. As I think the last time she sees him alive. Ooh, looking fresh. Obi-Wan. Clean robes. God dang, son. Look at you, Chief. Yeah, go bring that ship back. Like, your kid's gonna want to play with this. Oh, he's majestic.
Dan? You want to meet him?
Oh. And he gives him the model ship that he plays with in A New Hope.
Hello there.
General Kenobi. Oh, perfect. They waited to use that line. Hello there. God, and the music. Ooh, Force Ghost. Is that Qui-Gon?
Master Qui-Gon.
Well, took you long enough. I was always here, Obi-Wan. We just were not ready to see you. Come on, we've got a ways to go.
Oh, man. Oh, that was wonderful. And I feel like that ending slightly leaves the possibility for more on the table. Wow. That was just so good. I don't know how to explain just how much I love Star Wars, man. Like, it's just so beautiful, and I love every bit of it. I love the prequels. I love the original trilogy. I love the sequels. I love pretty much all of the Star Wars shows, you know, maybe Book of Boba Fett a little less so, but I still very much enjoyed it. But this, other than episode, what, 3 or 4? Episode 4? Other than episode 4, I've thoroughly been in love with everything in this series, and it is beautiful. And I think that ending definitely leaves the possibility for more going forward with Obi-Wan, you know, maybe even training further himself with Qui-Gon, you know, learning how to become a Force ghost himself. Ewan McGregor said he thinks there's more stories to tell with Obi-Wan, and he wants to play him more. And so hopefully we can make that happen. The two main, I guess, set pieces that went down in this episode was Reva attacking the Lars homestead, and Obi-Wan and Anakin. And I think I'm very pleased with how both situations went down, honestly. Well, to start off, okay, so Obi-Wan is like, I'm gonna bail on this ship because you guys are gonna all die, essentially, if I don't leave. But also, I gotta take on Anakin myself, right? Like, there's emotional baggage that needs to be sorted out here real quick. And so he's like, which, you know, also reinforces some of the themes of the show, where he's like, you know, I'm doing this for you, right? Like I'm leaving for you, but it's also about me and him. And similarly with the show, you know, there's elements of the overall galactic story and how the rebellion's forming, and it's slightly about them, but at the core of it, this is a story about those two, and just the confrontation. God, it was amazing. We got to see more young Luke here, which was very interesting. But let's talk about the fight. Oh my God, just they didn't rush us into this fight, and they just let it come, just slowly and almost solemnly, just let us into this fight. Darth Vader walks off and he's like, have you come here to destroy me, Obi-Wan? And like the parallels, the dialogue parallels from Revenge of the Sith, and he's like, I will do what I must. And he says, you will die. Similar, but not quite the exact same. In Revenge of the Sith, he says, you will try. In this, he says, you will die. Obi-Wan does he has the lightsaber and he's got the 2-finger point out. Classic Obi-Wan move. He's done that in every iteration of him. Like the only time he does that and then switches it up after is the fight with Darth Maul. He starts out with that where he's like, I'm Obi-Wan, but then he switches to Qui-Gon style to defeat Darth Maul. And the fight was so good too. Like, even just from right off the bat, you can tell it's a very different fight. Obi-Wan is not, he's not just like trying to barely stay alive. Like, he's holding his own. He gets Darth Vader to use both hands on the lightsaber, just showing how much more powerful he is than even Reva from last episode, where Darth Vader didn't even have to use a lightsaber to fight her. In this one, he definitely did need to use it, but also he deems Obi-Wan so important that he will take out his own lightsaber, use 2 hands, like he's taking this seriously. And he's even commenting, he's like, your strength has returned. Like he's happy that he can actually fight him now. Episode 3, he didn't even bother trying to finish him off, because he's just like, you're so weak. Like, this isn't even worth the chase, right? And this, he's like, your strength is returned, but the weakness still remains. And it's just like, oh, it's just so good. I liked how they kind of mixed the lightsaber fight styles of the prequel trilogy and the sequel trilogy. And what I mean by that is, like, it still had all the flair and all the ferocity of the actually it had all the flair and spins and stuff of the prequel trilogy, but it also very much felt like a sequel trilogy fight, where like you can feel the weight behind their swings, when the lightsabers don't connect with what they're trying to connect with, and they hit like rocks or some other thing, like it's kicking up debris, like they're doing damage to the landscape in their fight, beyond force abilities and things like that. And it's just so great. And they're incorporating the force into their fight, very very different from the prequels, where the prequels, their fight was pretty much all saber combat, other than that moment where they both tried to force push and then they like shoved each other away. This, they're throwing in like subtle moves here and there, where he's like taking him out at the feet with the force, and flipping each other with the force, and it's like the choreography was excellent. And then Darth Vader destroys the ground and just piles on these rocks. And one thing I liked is they keep cutting away from the fight, just like in Revenge of the Sith. They have this whole fight, but they keep cutting away. They cut away to other things. In this case, they're cutting away to Reva, trying to get to Luke, because right now, Reva is of the mindset of you know, her killing Luke will be taking justice against Anakin, right? And that final act is what will avenge her friends and family and the other younglings that died. That final act of killing him will finally complete her mission, right? She couldn't kill Vader, but she can kill his legacy and his offspring and do to him what he did to her. And it's just like, it's brilliant. And the fight with Owen, not like crazy cool. It shows some desperation on Owen's side, where like he's fighting a Sith warrior, essentially, like an Inquisitor, strong in the Force. Granted, she is very injured. She's struggling hard. But the desperation of Owen to keep Luke alive, like he cares about him so much, and he's getting jacked up. Like she's flipping him off balconies. Like she's just sick of his crap, man. But then we cut back to Obi-Wan, and he's under all these rocks, and it almost felt like the moment in Spider-Man Homecoming or Spider-Man 2, where they're just like, they have all this stuff piled on them, and in order to find their true strength to take it off, they have to examine their heart and examine their motives and really find their identity, and find, you know, purpose in their mission going forward. And so like he's piled under all these rocks, and he's got all these, you know, the voices of the past of Anakin, you know, taunting him, essentially, like the voices haunting him, that shame and that guilt coming after him. And then we see images of young Leia and young Luke. You know, he's those images cut through that noise, and instead of thinking about, you know, the ways that he has failed, he starts thinking like, what can I do going forward? And he finds the strength in that renewed mission, gets all the rocks off of him, starts fighting Vader. And then the moment where he is just standing there, like arms wide, just 50 boulders in the sky. Like he has all the strength in the world, as strong as Obi-Wan Kenobi has ever been in that moment. Which is wonderful, because like so many people have been complaining. Well, so many, the vocal minority of people have been like, this isn't Obi-Wan. They turned Obi-Wan from this powerful Jedi warrior to, you know, this weak old man. This moment right here is Obi-Wan again, right? He has found who he needs to be going into A New Hope. And he's showing that he is stronger in the Force in this moment than he has ever been, at least as far as we've seen. And he's just chucking these boulders in Anakin and doing work. Like Anakin tanks all those rocks, by the way. Like he just, that had to hurt so bad. And they're just fighting and fighting and fighting, and as the fight goes on, Obi-Wan, I feel like, is getting stronger. He's, you know, with the renewed vigor of his mission in mind and the hope for the future in mind, and the resolute, you know, just stalwart resoluteness to do what he has to do to protect these kids. Just, you can see all that happening in the fight, and you can see Anakin faltering, right? Because we know that he's not fully committed to the dark side. He has that good in him still, and so trying to purely rely on the dark side to win this fight isn't going to work. And he's taking it. Obi-Wan's taking it to him too. like Obi-Wan, I think it shows that Obi-Wan is stronger than Darth Vader. And it's just so cool. He's still the master. and he's jacking him up, and then he kind of does this like lunging move, and he cuts the mask open, and it's so brilliantly done, because it's just like in Rebels. If you haven't watched Star Wars Rebels, do yourself a favor, watch that show, because it is so good. Like, if you thought this moment was beautiful, it is almost like a direct copy of what happens in Rebels. Rebels did it first, baby. With when Darth Vader and Ahsoka fight, where the mask gets cut and you can see Anakin's face. We can see Hayden Christensen's face, and they intermix the voices of both James Earl Jones' Darth Vader and Anakin. Whereas in Rebels, they definitely did more of an even mix, where they kept the Vader voice going, but also intercut like the same exact line reading of Matt Lanter's Anakin. This one, they very much took away the Darth Vader voice and mainly had it be Anakin, other than like a few words as he's speaking. The voice modulator activates and you hear it in James Earl Jones' voice. But it's so beautiful, because Obi-Wan's crying and he's like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry for all of it. Like, like he's like, you blame me, because earlier in the season he's like, I am what you made me. And it's just like, it's so beautiful. Obi-Wan's crying, similar to Revenge of the Sith. He's like, you were my brother, like, I loved you. And he's crying saying, I'm so sorry for all of it. And Vader responds, he says, I am not your failure, which weirdly kind of letting Obi-Wan off the hook here. He's like, I am not your failure. You did not kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. And it's so brilliant, because it's, exactly from A New Hope, where he's like, Darth Vader killed your father. He can tell Luke's that because he has solace knowing that Darth Vader himself believes that, even though, truth be told, he didn't actually kill him. He just buried him deep down, and he will come back. And then, the moment where he's like, then my friend is dead, and he calls him Darth for the first time. He's like, I believe he calls him Darth in A New Hope as well. So it's very interesting that this is where that starts, where he's like, my friend is dead, goodbye, Darth. And he walks away, and Vader just, he can't move, right? Like, he's pretty much he's down for the count. He can't do anything, and he's just like, Obi-Wan, just screaming. And it's just I feel like that was the perfect place we could have left that fight, right? Because it shows and reinforces the line in A New Hope where he's like, when we last met, I was just the learner, now I am the master. And it's just like, I don't want to say Vader was like embarrassed, like, but Obi-Wan did work. When Obi-Wan has that mission, that resolute mission in his mind, he's not going to be beaten. Obi-Wan is arguably one of the best sword fighters there is in the Star Wars universe. Anakin's really good. Anakin's so good, but when he in this particular situation, Obi-Wan has complete commitment to his cause, right? He is fully on board what he needs to do. But we know that Darth Vader has that internal conflict. No matter how, even if it's just a tiny bit right now, he still has that internal conflict. And that's why he fails. That's why he couldn't win. And it's also, calls back to the earlier sparring session where he's like, a Jedi's goal is to save life, not take life. In this moment, Darth Vader's trying to take life, and Obi-Wan is fighting to save lives. And it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. And, you know, he leaves him there and heads back to Tatooine to help Luke. And he gets there, and Reva couldn't pull the trigger. She couldn't finish him off, because, you know, as much as she wanted what she thought was justice in that moment, she couldn't bring herself to become the thing that caused all this pain to her, right? Like, she couldn't become Anakin. And it's beautiful. She brings him back. Before that though, actually, yeah, she brings him back, lays him down, and has a conversation with Obi-Wan where she's like, I failed them. And Obi-Wan is like, no, like, you brought them peace. You did justice to them by reinforcing what they lived and died for. Like, these younglings and the other members of the Jedi Temple, like, lived and died for this cause. They believed in this wholeheartedly. And for you to turn away from the dark side in that moment and not become what inflicted this pain upon you in the first place, that is honoring them. And now, going forward, you can do whatever you want, right? Like, you can focus on the light side. You could lean into the dark side a little bit if you want. You could become a gray Jedi, even though I technically in canon now, I don't think gray Jedi exist. Even though Ahsoka is that's kind of what Ahsoka is, even though, like, the classification of gray Jedi, I think, doesn't exist currently in canon. But Reva can just be a Force user. But I'm very interested to see, like, where they take her character, because, you know, there's been the rumors of a Reva spin-off series. I know this will probably upset some people. I know a lot of people wanted her to die at the end of the series, but I'm perfectly okay with her living and, you know, going forward being a Force user in the Star Wars universe. Maybe she connects with Cal Kestis at some point. That would be very interesting, because he's got history with Inquisitors, especially Inquisitors, you know, realizing the error of their ways. So that could be a potential storyline. You know, he's like, oh, I'm familiar with this exact thing happening, and he can kind of lead her on a new path. That would be very interesting, especially with the rumors of him getting his own series. You know, maybe they're separate series, maybe they're like an intertwined series almost. He could kind of be her Sherpa going forward. That would be dope. We get a cool sequence with Vader and the Emperor, where Ian McDiarmid comes back to play the Emperor, and I'm gonna be honest, he's looking old as hell. I wonder if they obviously put all the Emperor makeup on him, but he definitely looks old. I don't remember, you know, because I feel like when the original trilogy came out, they had, I don't know if they, because he played him in not in A New Hope. He played him in Empire Strikes Back, right? That was like his first appearance as him, I think, right? Or Return of the Jedi. One of those two was like Ian McDiarmid's first time playing the Emperor. But and then since then they've gone back and reinserted, you know, new performance from him, I believe. But I don't remember if the Emperor looked this old in the original trilogy, but he's looking old as hell now. And he's like, yeah, you know, he's like, he's doubting Vader's commitment to the cause. And we get the Imperial March played, like, just wonderful. You know, they used these elements sparingly. They used the Imperial March sparingly. They used the Force theme sparingly, and they used quotes sparingly. But when they used them, they were so good. And then, yeah, ending ending the series with essentially Obi-Wan interacting with the two children, having a long conversation with Leia, which made me cry, where he's like, I said I didn't know your parents, but these specific qualities that you show, like, these qualities came from your mother and these qualities came from your father. Like, you are, even though you didn't know them, you are still very much a product of them. And he, even though Darth Vader is still Darth Vader, he lists the good qualities of Anakin that she has inherited, and it's just beautiful, and it made me cry. And she's like, will I ever see you again? And I don't think she does. I think from this point, the next time she even tries to contact him, I believe, is A New Hope. He's like, if you need help from an old man, you know where to find me. But he's like, we got to keep it on the down low, though, right? Like, gotta be somewhat of a secret. We can't make it known that we're buds, because it can be dangerous. And which, that tightens up the formal nature of her message in A New Hope, where she's like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you served with my father. Like, obviously not gonna be bringing up, we had a whole adventure when I was 10. Just wonderful. And then has a conversation with Owen, and Owen's like, yo, you want to meet him? And he walks up, and he just, perfect time to use that line. Just walks up, hello there. And it's just, yes, wonderful. And then he's going off into the desert to be something, to do something, that, like I said, that leads into the possibility of a season 2 of just random Obi-Wan adventures, doing things, protecting people, saving other Force-sensitive individuals, who knows. But then what we've all been waiting for, Liam Neeson's Qui-Gon Jinn shows up as a Force ghost, which hopefully that means he could be in more stuff going forward as it pertains to Obi-Wan and stuff. But he's like, I've always been here. So all these moments when Obi-Wan's calling out to Qui-Gon was there, and he's responding. It's like when you call someone and you're like, hello, and they're like, yeah, dude, I can hear you, but you can't hear me, obviously. Qui-Gon's sitting there like, yeah, man, I can hear you. I'm standing right here. And he's like, I've always been here. You just weren't ready to see me, right? Because he was dwelling on the past, and he didn't have peace in his heart. But now he does, and now he can see him. And he's like, come, we have a long way to go. And it's just like, just wonderful, beautiful ending. I loved this series so much. And I sincerely hope this is not the last time that we see both Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor portray their respective characters, or even Liam Neeson portraying his personal Qui-Gon Jinn, I hope all these people return in future properties. Specifically, I hope there's an Obi-Wan season 2. I hope there's if they made a Darth Vader series, where they kind of showed and took some elements from the comics and put those in live action, that would be dope. If we got some Anakin moments in the Ahsoka series, that would be awesome. I wonder if Leia will show up again, because like I mentioned, there's these articles and stuff coming out about Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things potentially signing on to a Star Wars project. And one of the things that I think would be she could probably crush it would be like a aged Leia, leading into A New Hope. That would be very interesting. Or she could just be a cool Jedi. That would be dope as well. So there's just, I feel like just even this series ending the way it did provides so many different avenues to where we could go with different storylines, and I'm just so excited for the future of Star Wars. We got Andor coming up. We have the Ahsoka series. We're gonna have like so many cool elements. Right now I'm reading through the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy to kind of catch up on all that storyline before the Ahsoka series, so we can see him. You know, Mandalorian season 3. It's just, there's so much cool stuff coming, and I'm so excited. But no, yeah, this series as a whole was wonderful in my opinion. The only misstep in my view was episode 4, where it kind of felt just like a filler fetch quest episode in a sense. You know, it did some work to get Obi-Wan back to where he needed to be. You know, got a little bit of his mojo back, but I think that was overall the only misstep in my opinion. Otherwise, every other episode was wonderful. I thought the performances from everyone involved were great. Even characters that died, like Tala, she was wonderful, and she provided, you know, renewed perspective for Obi-Wan of like why the fight is important and why he can't just be this old hermit in a cave anymore. You know, O'Shea Jackson Jr. Being a leader for the rebellion and realizing that he's gonna have to be more of a leader going forward. I thought that was great. You know, Leia gaining inspiration to become this freedom fighter and this rebel that she becomes later, and become a general, and she's wearing a holster now. It's great. You know, the storyline with Reva I thought was fantastic. You know, I thought it was blatantly obvious from episode 1 that she was a deeply layered character, and that there was way more happening below the surface that we could see. It was subtle, but you could see it. And so I felt very vindicated in episode 5 when we learned the full story of her backstory, and now episode 6, thousands of possibilities of where her character could go. And then I thought Ewan McGregor was brilliant as Obi-Wan, like fantastic. Like seeing him go from this like scared, haunted man, full of shame and guilt, to now this renewed, hopeful man, you know, strength in the Force back. He's, you know, he's limber. He's got his fighting ability back. He's ready to go. He's kind. He is hopeful. It's just, it's fantastic. And then Hayden Christensen playing old Anakin. Great to see him back, even though he definitely looked old. They didn't do a whole lot of de-aging on that, but it's okay, you know, saving some money. I don't think anyone really cared that much. But then even his portrayal as Darth Vader, like, you know, you could see the Hayden Christensen in that performance. You know, a lot of it was a stunt guy in a suit, but Hayden definitely was in there. And then, you know, those moments where we saw him, just the pain in his performance the whole time, fantastic. Even freaking what's his face, Joel Edgerton playing Owen, just like great. Like, it's not a huge role, but he took what he got and he killed it. Like, it's just, it was so good. Like, the performances were brilliant. I thought the story was deeply impactful and emotional, provides a lot of closure for episode 3, and a lot of open-ended, hopeful possibilities going into the future. So I loved it a lot. I think those are all my thoughts on it, though. Definitely let me know what you guys thought of this series down in the comments below. I'd love to start a conversation. If you liked my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a ton to me. If you're new here or you find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you're notified when I upload, especially if you want to see me react to more Star Wars content. Again, we got Andor coming up, we got the Bad Batch Season 2 coming up soon, and then all those other future properties that will be coming in the future as well. So stoked for all those. And then if you want to see the full, uncut version of this reaction to this glorious episode, consider supporting me on Patreon. I post all those in watch-along format, so you just sync up your own copy of the show and you can watch along with me. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.